Unit 8, Track 43. Listen to Tristan talking about his job. What do you think his job is? Does he work in the city or the country? Does he like his job?
What hours do you work, Tristan?
It depends. I sometimes have to work at night, but I usually work about 8 to 10 hours a day. It's hard to be exact.
How often do you have to work at night?
Well, I have to be on call 2 nights a week.
And do you have to work on weekends?
Sometimes. In this job, you have to work very odd hours. You never know if there'll be an emergency.
Tell me about your days.
Well, there's always variety, and that's good. In the mornings, I work here in the clinic, but in the afternoons, I have to go out on visits, often here in the countryside, to farms.
What's the most difficult thing about the job?
Well, it's the night shift, really. When I'm on call at night, I don't have to stay in the clinic. I can go home, but I can never relax. I can't just fall asleep in front of the TV. And when I get home after an emergency, I find it really difficult to sleep.
I hear the training's quite hard.
Oh, yes, I had to study for 5 years. I was at City University, and as part of my training, I came here for work experience. And when I graduated, they offered me a job. I didn't have to look for a job.
That was lucky.
Yes, I know. But the other students in my class all have good jobs now.
Are you well paid?
It's not too bad. When I have my own practice, it'll be better.
And what are the secrets of being good at your job?
Well, obviously, you have to love working with animals, but you also have to be sensitive to their owners. Pets are important to people, and sometimes you have to give bad news. You have to stay calm in emergencies. 2 nights ago, I helped a sheep have triplets. 3's very unusual for a sheep. The farmer was delighted. When I save an animal's life, that's fantastic, no matter what time of night it is.
And what are your plans for the future?
Well, as I said, eventually I'd like to have my own practice. Anyway, nice to talk to you. I have to go now. Bye.
Thanks, and bye.
Track 44. Listen to these sentences. Notice the different pronunciations of have, has, and had. 1,
I have a good job. I have to work hard.
2,
He has a nice car. She has to get up early.
3,
I had a good time. I had to take a test.
Track 45. Listen and check. Practice the conversations with a partner. 1,
My ex-boyfriend is going to my best friend's wedding. He was horrible to me. Should I go?
Of course you should, but look happy and wear a fantastic dress. I think you should show your ex that you're fine without him.
2,
There's a group of bullies at school. They're making my life miserable.
You must tell your parents and your principal about this. You shouldn't let these cowards ruin your life.
3,
I've fallen in love with my colleague. Should I tell him?
No, you shouldn't. It will only cause problems at work. I don't think you should have relationships with people you work with.
4,
I'm 19. I chat with a guy on the internet. He wants to meet me. Should I go?
I don't think you should. You have no idea what he's really like. If you do go to meet him, you must take a friend with you. This is really important.
Track 46. Listen to Ian Mitchell who lives in a small town. He is talking about his daughter Evie, who has left home to live in New York. Answer the questions.
My daughter Evie is living in New York now. She went there 4 months ago, and I'm really worried about her. She says she's having a great time, but she's still only 18. And I just think New York's such a dangerous place for a young woman. She shouldn't live so far away from home. Her mother went with her to help her look for somewhere to live, but I didn't go. I don't like New York. I don't like big cities. Why did she have to go there anyway? I don't understand. She says she wants to be a dancer, and she's taking some kind of class, a ballet class or something. But ballet isn't a real job, and you don't make much money being a dancer, do you? She's a smart girl. I think she should go to college. She's living in an apartment there in New York by herself. She's on her own, and I don't like that at all. Apparently, she has a boyfriend. We've never met him. Michael, I think his name is. He doesn't have a job. But Evie works hard, though. She works on the weekends as a waitress in a restaurant. I just hope it's a nice place. She calls home sometimes, but not a lot, and we call her, but usually her cell phone's turned off or she doesn't answer. When I do manage to talk to her, she just tells us that we should get a cell phone so she can text us. She says we shouldn't worry. How can we not worry? We're her parents, we miss her, and of course we worry. Sometimes I can't sleep at night. She really should come home more often.
Track 47. Listen to Evie talking about her life in New York and answer the questions. Which of her answers are different?
I want to be a professional dancer, so I came to New York 4 months ago to study at the National Ballet School. If you want a good dance career, you have to go to a good school, and you have to start young. I'm almost 19, almost too old. I know my parents are worried about me living in New York, but it isn't dangerous. You just have to be careful, that's all. It was hard in the beginning. I didn't know anybody, and New York's such a big place. But I love it now. There's lots to do and see. I'm living in a small apartment near the ballet school with Francine, another dance student. We're good friends now. And I also have a boyfriend. His name's Marco, and he's studying at the same school. He still lives with his parents, pretty close to my apartment. His parents are really nice, and I spend a lot of time with them. I want to take Marco home to meet my parents, but the plane tickets are expensive, and I don't have much money. New York's really expensive, so Francine and I have to work every weekend. We teach children's dance classes at a school nearby. It's a lot of fun, actually. I call my parents 3 times a week. My dad always sounds so worried. He shouldn't be. I try to tell him not to worry, but he doesn't listen. I love my mom and dad very much, but I can't live at home for the rest of my life. They really should come to New York and visit me. And I think they should get a cell phone. Then I could send them text messages, and maybe they wouldn't worry so much.
Track 48. Alex has applied for the job of nanny to baby Jack. Jack's mother, Rachel, is interviewing him. Listen and answer the questions.
Good morning, Alex. Nice to meet you. I have to say that this is a first, interviewing a man for this job.
I know, it's unusual.
Well, certainly a man has never applied for it before. Tell me, have you always been a nanny?
No, not at all. I was studying engineering in New Zealand, and I knew I could earn a lot of money as an engineer, but it was boring. So I stopped and decided to look at other careers.
Okay, I understand that. But why a nanny? Why did you choose this career, a career in childcare?
Well, obviously, it's because I love children, but it was much more than that. You see, my mother died when I was just 12 years old, and I had to help my father take care of my younger brother and sister.
Ah, I see. So you didn't have to have a lot of training to be a nanny.
Oh, yes, I did. I had to study for a year. I had to learn how to take care of children correctly. Actually, I was the only man in the training course, so I really enjoyed it.
So what kinds of things did you learn?
Well, how to change diapers,
Very important.
how to cook healthy meals for children, how to play with them and plan their days. We worked hard, and we all felt fully qualified for the job at the end of the training course.
Well, before I offer you the job, I'd like you to meet Jack and spend some time with him to see how well you two get along together.
I'd love to.
Well, let's go and meet him. He's adorable. Oh, I forgot. Do you have any questions for me?
Just one. Do I have to wear a uniform?
No, that's not necessary. You look just fine.
Thank you very much.
Okay, let's go meet Jack.
Track 49. Listen and mark the stress. Is it on the first or second word?
Child care.
Job interview.
Training course.
Track 50. Listen, check, and repeat.
Hairdresser. Countryside. Text message. Advice column.
Flight attendant. Homemaker. Plane ticket. Firefighter.
Track 51. Listen and practice saying the symptoms and illnesses in pairs. 1,
I can't stop sneezing and blowing my nose. I have a cold.
2,
I keep throwing up and I have diarrhea. I have food poisoning.
3,
It hurts when I walk. I've twisted my ankle.
4,
I have a stomach ache and I keep going to the toilet. I have diarrhea.
5,
My glands are swollen and it hurts when I swallow. I have a sore throat.
6,
I have a temperature. My whole body aches and I feel awful. I have the flu.
Track 52. You will hear a conversation between Manuel, a student from Chile, and a doctor. Answer the questions.
Hello. Come in and sit down. What seems to be the matter?
Well, I haven't felt very well for a few days. I have a bit of a temperature, and I just feel terrible. I have a stomach ache as well.
Have you been feeling nauseous?
Yes, and I vomited a few times.
Let me have a look at you. Your glands aren't swollen. Do you have a sore throat?
Yes, I do, actually.
Have you eaten anything which might have disagreed with you?
No, I don't think so. Oh, I went to a barbecue a few days ago, and the chicken was a little bit undercooked.
It could be that, or just something that was left out of the fridge for too long.
I think it was the chicken. I started feeling sick that night.
Well, you should get some rest. And I'll give you something that will help with the stomach ache and diarrhea. Drink plenty of liquids and just take things easy for a while. I'll write you a prescription.
Thank you. Can I get the prescription filled here?
No, sorry. You have to take the prescription to a pharmacy.
Okay. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Goodbye.